Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. This time out, a super small but very powerful pedalboard power supply. Let's get started. When you're choosing a power supply for your pedalboard, there are several things you want to look for. First of all, you need enough outputs to be able to feed all the devices on your board. Second of all, you need plenty of current to power all those devices, particularly if you have power-hungry devices like this Eventide H9 on your board. One of the other things you want to be aware of is the size of the power supply, particularly when you're dealing with a small board like this Pedaltrain Nano. You can't put a very big supply underneath this, so I was very excited to see today's product that we're checking out, which is the mini ISO brick from MXR. So let's check this out. On my board I have 6 devices ranging from an A-B switch, which has status LEDs on top so it takes very little current, all the way up to the H9, which draws a fairly significant amount of current, and we're driving it all with a mini ISO brick. I've got the mini ISO brick installed underneath my Pedaltrain Nano. It's just temporarily under there, so I haven't secured all the cables and everything, so it's a little bit of a mess, but check out how small this device is. This is our mini ISO brick. It's actually driven by a wall wart, which means that all the noise is going to be handled offline. Each of the outputs is isolated, so again, we're really preventing noise from getting through to our devices. It's a very clean power supply. Let's pull it off and take a closer look. The mini ISO brick is as simple as it is small. We have 4 main outputs here across the front, and those put out 300 milliamps each, so they'll drive things like Strymons, Eventides with no problem at all. We have a 5th output here on the end. Now that can be switched here with a recessed switch between 9 volt and 18 volt operation, and it's rated to 800 milliamps of current. Now that output can be used to drive a 5th device, or in fact you can daisy chain multiple mini ISO bricks together to get even more outputs. You set that 5th output to 9 volt operation when you're driving a standard pedal. In this case it's plugged into my Eventide, even though it doesn't require anywhere near that much current. You set it to 18 volt operation in 2 other situations. One, when you're daisy chaining mini ISO bricks together for more outputs, and the second, if you want to have 18 volt operation for a pedal that can use that for higher headroom, such as a compressor or a clean boost. The only other connection on the device is the input here, which connects to the wall wart that plugs into the wall. Again, all of the outputs are isolated, and the wall wart takes the power supply off board, so that means that we have very clean power coming out of the mini ISO brick. Now I'm using the mini ISO brick to drive this entire pedal board. As I mentioned, the 5th output is driving the Eventide, and then I have a Y splitter driving 2 of the pedals, and the rest are seeing individual outputs. So it's very flexible in that regard as well. But you'd be amazed how much this little mini ISO brick can drive. Let's take a look at a bigger pedal board. So we've switched to my larger board. This is the board that I typically take out to gigs with me. The other board is my grab it and go board. I usually use that with like a Deluxe or a Princeton. It's very easy to just throw over my shoulder along with a guitar and a small amp, make one trip. And this is the board that I take when I'm using a larger rig. It actually will work with stereo setups or even with a 3 amp setup. So I've got a lot of stuff on here and it takes quite a bit of power, but the mini ISO brick is driving it with no problem. The way I've got it set up is 2 individual outputs are driving the 2 Strymons, which require 250 milliamps of power each. And again, we've got 300 milliamps coming out of each of the outputs. Then I've got a splitter coming off the 4th one, which is driving the wah and the tuner. And finally, I have a multi-node cable that's coming out of the 800 milliamp output, and it's driving all the rest of the pedals on the board. Plenty of current available inside the mini ISO brick. It's very clean, has no problem at all driving this large board. If you're looking for an affordable power supply that's super small, super clean, super versatile, and offers plenty of current for even the largest boards, you definitely want to check out the mini ISO brick. And if you do get in a situation where one mini ISO brick isn't enough, you can daisy chain them together to get even more power. Really a cool product. I think this is going to be a huge hit for MXR. Definitely check it out for your board. Thanks for joining me for Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll have more guitars, more amps, more effects, and we'll be making lots of music. I'm Mitch Gallagher.
All alone, and you walk in the plank. Bridges are burned,